Yeah, but I guess today we're gonna just kind of just I guess give our thoughts on Fast Nine, a little sunlight, and that's
Yeah,
pretty much
before we
what.
start, let me say I appreciate that background, Steve. That thing looks
Oh, that, yeah. Thank you. It's the nerdy background. That's all the rage. So.
hey, that's the key to have a good background.
Mm-hmm.
I like those was it the foam so you can there's no sound.
Oh no! That's Sterling. That's you. You got the phone.
Oh, me, those that
Yeah.
back there. Yeah, but unfortunately, I need more
Yeah.
because they have to cover the whole wall. I didn't know that. I thought they could just cover like a part of it. So that was pretty stupid.
So how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Steve from the 8BG, and you're watching 8BGCAST. Today I'm here with my host, Sterling, and today we have a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is AnditoGamer. I go by Andy. AnditoGamer is my YouTube channel and everything. If you see Kazuya on there, because Kazuya is like my favorite character. I don't know. I love Kazuya.
Ooh, and Tekken, Kazuya.
Nice. Yeah. So you must be excited that he's in Smash Brothers, huh?
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm ready to give Nintendo my money right now.
And then Andy, where can they catch you?
You guys can catch me on Instagram at the Fleur, like the flower, but in French.
Mm-hmm.
Or AnditoGamer, and you'll find my channel. You'll see me with a big smile with glasses on. But a lot. I'm gonna start streaming a lot since I moved now. I left New York. I'm in a small town in Massachusetts, so due to my job.
Nice.
Now I have my setup. My PC's all set up, and then right here to the right, I have my PS5, my baby, all set up and everything.
All you lucky human beings with your PS5s.
Oh,
what can we say?
Oh yeah, look at that. PS5.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if Steve told you the story of how he got his PS5.
He did.
Yeah.
Wait, was it through you?
No, it was through him first. Yeah, because he had hit me up that day. He's like,
because I remember you said you drove to Massachusetts. So.
Yeah. Because my brother called me. He's like, "Hey, I got a PS5 right now." Like, I was like, I already bought one, but I was like, wait. I was like, my sister's boyfriend. He needs a PS5. I gotta hook him up, and I called my sister, and then
that's when she told me. And after that's when we went to Massachusetts, and I was like, "Yo, thank you so much." I was like, "Yo, much appreciated, yo." Because I think
they must like you. I don't think my sisters. I don't think my girlfriend's family would ever do some shit like that. Or some shit. I don't know.
He came into mind because I remember my sister was telling like he's trying to get a PS5 for him, and I'm like, I know who wants it.
I was like, "Oh, much appreciated." I was like, "Yo, that was worth the ride." But that was cool though, man. It was much appreciated, and
of course.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So I guess we get right to it. Unless anyone else has anything, games we've been playing or anything.
I've just been playing Guilty Gear, still playing some Guilty Gear Strive and Apex Legends. I'm still playing that.
Nice.
You know me, I'm still I have a love and hate relationship with Call of Duty. Just a girlfriend that keeps coming back, she's no good, but you still coming back,
How many gigs is that game right now? Is it like 200 gigs?
It's probably 200 gigs. Like,
that's fucking ridiculous.
All the new weapons and stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of updates.
Yeah, I feel like at one point my PS4 was just a dedicated Call of Duty hardware because it's literally I had to delete every other week there was a new update, and it's like it gets massive each week.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like they're gonna release a new update. There's a new gun coming out. And I don't know what it is, but I was watching Nick Merckx, and he was saying that there's a new update coming out and a new gun. So we'll see. They got my money for sure.
All right, so as you guys already know, today we're here to talk about the infamous Fast 9. I heard from T that you watched it. So, and I heard, a little bit of what you thought about it. So I was like, okay, I got to bring you on because I got to hear this. And, I spoke to Sterl a while back, through text about like how we felt about the movie. So, you know, let's talk about it. Since you're our guest, Andito, come on, let's talk about it. How you feel about Fast 9?
Go first.
I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, I love Fast and Furious because of the cars. I'm a car guy. I love cars. I spend hours on YouTube checking out the different cars: Mustang, muscle cars, sports car, exotic cars. I'm into cars. So Fast and Furious was like the movie that brought that in. When people who can take a beat up car and just like tune
Soup
in,
it up.
and it's just amazing to me. Like I just love it. And but throughout the years, my love for the movie started going down the hill due to the fact of the stunts and the CGI is way too much. They might as well join the Avengers team. Let's say that. Let's say that. The movie, I started like, you get the feel because it's Fast and Furious, you see, like they said, the family vibe. It's happy to see everybody, the cast there and everything. We connected and everything. But it got to a point they went from, street racers to, spy agents.
Like mercenaries.
Like mercenaries, yeah. Like some type of group of, I'll say super agents, like that has all the technology and can the budget and can deploy like any type of vehicle from air. It got too ridiculous. They should have just stick with a storyline where they still street race or like some crazy stuff or like some heist, maybe and with some cops chasing or the FBI chasing, and they got different cars. That's what it should have taken, like to bring back the car culture. Now it's like to me, Fast 9 was the past Fast and Furious. They're all about now. They like super spies, and then at one point I wanted to walk out of the movie.
Wow.
I literally
in Fast 9, right?
Yeah, in Fast 9. I was like, we're looking at the movie, and nowadays it's like, I don't know if it's because I'm older. There's certain things that's happening in certain movies. I'm like, man, come on now, man. Like, come on now. This is impossible.
What happened is your brain said no. Your brain woke up and said, "This is not even a movie anymore. This is just things happening."
This is crazy. Like the thing that got me a little bit upset was like when Tyrese got caught up into that little cave, whatever.
Okay, yeah, in the beginning.
And he got surrounded by at least like 14 to 20 dudes. And you telling me nobody like all these guys are bad shooters? It makes no sense to me, man. Especially when it comes to military tactics. It's just like, Yeah.
We're gonna hold on to some of the bad thoughts real quick. Let me just switch it over to Stone. How did you feel about Fast 9?
I hated it. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was okay. This is how I feel about it. So I'm actually opposite of Andy in terms of I don't care about cars at all. Right? I have no interest. So the first movie, and I seen the first movie, but I didn't see it until much later. Actually,
How much later?
I don't know, maybe like a couple years ago was the first time I seen the first movie.
Okay.
So the first one I came into was 5 when they started doing. When it wasn't so much about racing anymore, it was kind of like that's when they were doing. But they, like he said, they were kind of on a run from the cops and things like that. So it still had street racing elements, and it ended with this big bank heist, and they stole the vault. And that, to me, that was all cool. Like I enjoyed the hell out of Fast 5. I thought it was like stupid enough, but it was fun, and it had The Rock, and The Rock was a good adversary for Dom and his crew. Like it was cool. Then as the movies progressed, it kind of really started to hit that point of like, these guys are superheroes. They can't be hurt, And fast forward to this movie, they address it. They say, they're like, well, nothing happened to us. Can you believe that? So it's like, okay, they're self-aware of it, right? Which is cool. But so you would think if you're self-aware of something, you would actually use the opportunity to maybe do something about it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they need to kill someone, but make them, like he said, not a scratch. They don't ever get a scratch doing anything throughout the whole movie. And it's like, the reasons movies work is because you believe there's tension. That means you think at some point maybe a character could die or something like that. So after he didn't get shot and he started saying like, we must be like this, invincible or whatever. I mean, the movie's kind of always lost tension since like the 7th, maybe the 8th one. It's like, but now I'm like, I don't have no investment in watching anything because I know they're all going to live. Like there was not one point when
if they die, they come back.
or they come back to life. Like I was saying that to my girlfriend at the time. I was like, you know, they could bring Gal Gadot's character back to life if she wanted to be, because why not? Everybody can come back to life at this point.
No,
I mean, they might bring right. I mean, like they'll bring Paul Walker back to life somehow. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. CGI something.
They could. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them at this point. You know, Fast 10, one final ride. He's going to be there. Watch. So there's so much that's like, it's almost to the point they aren't trying. They know they have to kind of up it from the last one. But I think, okay, what really the weakest part about this movie to me is actually it's the villains. It's the whole the adversaries. You got I don't even know what the guy, I don't remember the guy with the money, the rich guy, whatever.
Mr. Nobody?
No. The other one that was employing John Cena's character.
Oh man, you know I'm not gonna lie, I forgot who that was.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to remember.
The one that the one that she called Yoda. Remember she called somebody Yoda?
The one with the rich dad.
That guy. He was like besides Charlize Theron, he was pretty much the other. He was like the main bad guy.
He had her trapped in a cage, right? Like
yeah. He was kind of running. He had and John Cena unfortunately just isn't as charismatic as The Rock, and his whole arc turns so fast, like on a second, and you were like, "Oh God, they're brothers. They're gonna team up at the end." You knew that was coming. You knew he wasn't like a bad guy the whole time, really, like And that's what
I was gonna say, like, hold that thought, because I guess we're gonna go through the good and the bad real quick. That's one thing to know you guys' overall thoughts. Just kind of share into that.
Sucked.
I've been a fan of the Fast and Furious since the first movie. I saw the first movie, and I really loved the second movie. Funny enough, I know a lot of fans hate that one. I didn't really.
Yeah, did you watch it with your eyes? It's terrible.
You know what it is? Like, just like Andy said in the beginning, I was really into cars. Like Too Fast, Too Furious really got me into like the car culture, like the customizing cars and all that kind of stuff. Like I was reading Import Tuner magazine. I was looking at rims. I was really trying to get me a souped up car at one point in my life, just because of Too Fast, Too Furious.
Because it was talking about like cars like the Supra, the R35,
Mitsubishi Evolution,
Skyline. Mitsubishi Skyline, the Lancers, like all that kind of stuff. Cars like people like enthusiasts who can't afford like supercars, they get into those cars, those Japanese cars, and they tune them. They look great. Now it's just like I don't know,
because there was a whole culture back then. There was like a whole street culture, regarding that. You were saying, Storo?
Even in every movie, there's always a scene where there's like they get to whatever. The newer movies, because I don't remember but they show off these like really like nice rides. Either they have to steal the rides, or something like that.
Yeah, in the first movie,
in this one, I don't even remember. In the ninth one, I don't remember a single part where it was really like, look at these cool, like there was always a scene, because I'm not a car guy, but there was always a scene where I'd see like a bright, colorful car, and I'm like, that must be a really fast car. And in this movie, I was like, I didn't really see, I didn't get a sense of any kind of street race except for the flashback, right? Which was just that wasn't even an exciting flashback of a race. They just went straight the whole time. Which I guess is street racing, but like
that's like a drag race.
Other movies, like okay, so for instance, like even the eighth movie people might say is like not great, but it started with a pretty cool race when he was in whatever,
like
Cuba, whatever it was. Yeah, but like at least it started like it's like okay, we are a racing movie at some point. This movie like didn't even care about the fact that they used to race. Really, I mean, okay, it started with what was it, Daytona or?
I mean, it was like a NASCAR.
A Charger. It's probably a Daytona SRT. With a Hemi Hellcat. I can tell you all the cars that was in there. The Dodge Challenger Hellcat, whatever model they have. The McLaren that the Jason Statham, the mother on that movie, was driving.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then the Supra that Han was driving. Those are the three cars I could remember that they put in the movie. Like,
and don't forget the rocket ship car. Don't forget the tank cars, the flying car, the rock climbing car.
I think like people were saying after the eighth movie, like, what's next? They must go out of space, and then they heard that and said, "Well, we got to make it happen."
They took it too literally, though.
They didn't even do anything in outer space, if I remember correctly.
Their mission when they went out of space was to like destroy a satellite, so they had to get close enough to like diffuse it electronically because they couldn't do it where they were at. So that's how they got.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Oh, they ran through.
Oh, they were too far. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they didn't. Right? They just went in for no reason.
They rammed into it though.
Yeah, they ran
to destroy it.
But imagine if that happened in space. Like, let's be real here. Like, if that happened in space, like, they both wouldn't win and survive at all. But
I mean,
they survive everything else. So at this point, space is like a frontier that's like that's nothing new to them because it's just like they'll survive it. They can plummet from space to the Earth, and they'll still survive and be like, "Damn, that hurt."
They both are still in Krypton, so they survive in space.
I think when writing the script, the first thing they don't do is say, "Let's be real." Like they don't take anything real. Like you remember my moment of disbelief was in Fast. I always talk about this in Fast 6 when he launches himself and catches her in midair and then lands on the car. Like, and I said, "They're both dead." I was watching some video where they're both dead, and the rest of the movie is just them being in heaven watching over. Like, because that's what it feels like to me. It's like but it was still like kind of fine because it's like at least you got the villain is like okay, I'm like worried about him, and then 7th it was Jason Statham, so I was like he's badass, and then 8 was whatever, but there was Jason Statham, and there was still The Rock, and there was still a lot of fun, and then 9 it strips all that. Like I said, John Cena is not. He doesn't have that presence. He's not bad, but he just doesn't. He's not gonna steal the movie like The Rock and all of them do. They stole those last movies. They were entertaining to watch. There was literally moments like me and my girlfriend looking at each other like, "This shit is boring. It's boring." That's the most criminal thing
exactly
about the movie. It's boring.
Because it's funny. Like I was really into Fast. The last Fast movies since 5. I was really into them. Like I know they got ridiculous. They got crazy. With Fast 5, they had the whole thing with the vaults skidding across the street, and was it 7, they had they're driving through different buildings in their car, and 8, of course, the infamous submarine, and I was always into that. Like that was always like, it was stupid, but it was kind of like fun, like, turn off your brain, kind of adventure, it was just like, you can enjoy it. I felt with Fast 9, one of my biggest issues is that not only is everything kind of ridiculous, but I felt like even the writing was just like very blah. Like they were just like going through the motions. They're like, okay, what would this guy say? What would this guy say? They just said like the most like generic things. Like nothing felt engaging with the story or the characters. It just felt like they were just like typing what they would, what they would normally say, and that was it. Like just going through the motions.
My thing it's not the story. It's the way they use the cars to do every scene. Like for example, like we were talking about the safe thing, like the way Dom turned around and flipped the car in that safe, just like like it was so much
the cars.
force. Yeah, it's just so weird. Like the chassis of the car wouldn't be able to handle that kind of stuff. Like the stuff that he's doing, it's just like it's just like ridiculous. Like
but you see that I know that it's kind of like at this point they're kind of like in fantasy worlds. Like it's a way different than like because it's essentially, from what I understand, Fast and Furious, the fourth one, is actually like the soft reboot. So it's like, from there, it's like, they're doing all this crazy stuff and without a care of physics, and okay, it's just something that you accept, and that I could accept that to a certain extent. Like like the whole safe thing was stupid, but it still was an interesting scene. It was still engaging enough to be like, wow, this is crazy. Let me see what happens. But I feel like, with each movie they had great set pieces, but with this one, the set pieces weren't as interesting. Like the beginning with the the scene where Dom is like running away from when they're in the jungle and they're driving, that was cool. And then the scene where Dom just drives into that a pole where he just kind of like swings in the air with the car was kind of like, okay, that's kind of like pushing it.
Yeah, there's no way like you can like plan to hook the front of the tire so you can swing and make it at the side of the freaking mountain. Like,
yeah, it's shit.
Yeah, Fast and Furious should have been anime movie, and it turned into a real movie. Like when people log into their computer, like like Oculus,
VR,
virtual reality,
like a VR, and then you play a role like in the other world. Just like Avatar or something like that. That's why they should have gone with, because all these action that they're doing and those main characters, we love them. We would love to see that family unity, but somebody gotta go, man. Like these things got like
right. Give me some tension.
Like
somebody.
So
I care.
All right. So with some of the movie, what were the moments like? All right, what did you guys think about Han coming back? Because I thought that scene where Han came back was just like, okay, I felt nothing. I didn't feel anything when he came back. It didn't feel impactful. It just felt like, again, like I said,
he was coming back. It was marketing, right? We all knew. Like if no one said that beforehand, maybe I don't think I would have cared anyway, because I don't care. But I think more people would have been like, oh shit, they brought back Han. But like when you see the commercial and they show him already, it's like, oh, okay, he's fucking not dead. So I guess whenever he pops up in the movie, it's just okay. I don't care, because it's not a surprise. Like every character in the movie is surprised, but I'm not. So like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, and the way Han explained his backstory when Mr. Nobody recruited him and he protected that girl, like the way he like got back in there and the way he jumped and trying to protect the girl, I'm like, yo, like he should have been dead right there and there. Like it didn't make sense how he protected the girl. Like I feel like they could have done a better story, since they make him a badass with a sniper rifle, taking out two guys. And they should have did a little scene like John Wick, like where he protects the girl. The way he jumped in front of the gun and got shot, like should have been dead. Dead. Like I was like,
I mean, I thought the explosion would kill him. In the car, I thought that would kill him. But apparently not.
No, it's just like they gotta make they gotta give a little bit of drama, and they should bring back like racing, like hardcore racing. Like that's what people want. Like not those crazy.
I mean, I will say the counterpoint that since the movies have been doing like their kind of like global adventure trekking, whatever you want to call it, I mean they've done well. They've been like number one. They've done really well in the box office. I think this one though, I don't know how well it did. I mean, accounting for like COVID and a lot of theater closure. I don't think it did as well, because I think it had like I don't know numbers off the top of my head, but I think it had a massive drop the second week. And I think it's because it's not good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot of
like there's okay, let's take let me think about this. So part of what like makes the older movies to me a little bit more fun to watch, I would say before the sixth one, maybe the seventh, is at least the stuff looked real. It was real. It was like even the vault bank thing, that was a real safe that they were dragging through the street. So my brain is not like thinking about it, looking at it and being confused, because I'm like, holy shit, that looks cool. And like whatever the fuck it looks cool. Is it real? I don't know, but it looks cool. But when I'm watching Fast 9, like in the beginning scene when what's her name's on the bike, whatever her name is, Letty. And I'm looking, I'm like, that shit looks fake as fuck. Everything in this, like this whole movie's just like you said, the CGI. Everything in the movie looks fake as shit. And my brain is like, it's the minute you going off and you attach your car to like a grappling hook and then swing across the thing. I just said, like, they're not even trying to make it look real. They're just like, we're just gonna do whatever is cool.
Do you think they maybe just kind of ran out of like set pieces to really like kind of exploit in a way?
No, they don't care. Because all right, you take it, whatever the set piece, whatever the plot is. It's like, for instance, okay, the most mind-boggling scene to me is when Dom jumps down that well or whatever to fight off like 10 people or whatever. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
And then he's on the floor. Now, I don't know if you've ever been around 3 people, but if you're on the floor against 3 people, you can't get up. He got up when there was like 11 people. And I'm watching it and I'm looking at it. I'm like,
he's super. You saw what he did. You saw how he saved Letty, right? The guy's superhuman. You see, it's the Toretto blood.
You know that scene. They should have put him into the Justice League Dark Side.
He's just as strong as what. Like, it doesn't make like.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
How do you get? How did like you to get up, right? Unless you're doing like a karate get up, you have to get on your knees. You have to. You know, there's 10 people around you, and somehow he's able to get up. Like, because he was on the floor. I don't think he was gonna die, but when he was on the floor, I was like, well, okay, he's fucked. You know, maybe the thing will. Then no, he gets up and he's still able to drag this guy off, and then do it, and then the whole thing collapses, and then Letty just. At that point, I was like, they, you know, I don't.
I think
family. That's the power. That's the
power. Family. I think a little bit like on the production side. I think a little bit is coming from like The Rock. This is why I personally feel. Vin Diesel may have been jealous of The Rock to kind of stealing the scenes in the last couple of movies because the dude was huge, strong. He had great fight scenes, and I think he's trying to become like what The Rock kind of looked like the last couple of movies, where he was like this unstoppable force and he was just like beating everybody up. Because Vin Diesel was big. Don't get me wrong; he's a big dude, but The Rock is on a different level. You know, like when you in the other movies when you saw like The Rock versus Vin Diesel face to face, like there was no competition there. Like The Rock is just like
that fight
a monster.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think since Vin Diesel is like the head honcho of the franchise, I think a little of that seeped into the script and some of the scenes that he writes or works on to say like, oh, I'm going to beat up these guys and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Because he wants to kind of get that kind of like those kind of set pieces. And another thing too, speaking of set pieces, I feel like the fights in this movie too weren't as fun. Like the other movies I remember, like, Vin Diesel. Oh, snap. Sorry about that. The other movies I remember, Vin Diesel's fights in the other movies with Jason Statham. Of course, the infamous Jason Statham versus, The Rock. A lot of those fight scenes, Letty versus Ronda Rousey, like they had some great fight scenes. This movie, I felt, the fight scenes were lackluster. Even like again, the set pieces just weren't hitting. It seemed like just everything like this movie tried to do was just like, again, it was just out of like it was like trying to get like it was a machine. Like there was no creativity either in the lines or the action scenes. And like how did you guys feel about the whole thing with the flashbacks with like Vin Diesel and what's his name, John Cena? Well,
I kind of what, that part of that story I kind of like it. That was good that they show that side of Dom and I didn't know, and he had a brother, and his dad. I like that part that they added on the movie. That's really. That's the only part that I really like kind of say, okay, their father was a NASCAR or whatever racer, but they should have just like, I don't know, man, like the super spy thing, man. It makes sense.
Yeah, if they grounded the whole story and made it like a little bit more like, because even in this story, I didn't get that whole family vibe, other than it was literal family. Like this is his literal blood, and he doesn't. But other than that, it was like I didn't even get the whole like everybody's putting all these memes about family and stuff like that. It kind of made sense for previous movies. It made sense for previous movies because he said it a million times and it looked like. But this movie was like, I guess it was like, oh, look how smart we are because Dom doesn't even care about real family because, and it's like, I don't know. I just think about it.
Yeah. And kind of say what you were talking about earlier, Sterling, about like the whole thing with like, I think you had mentioned something about like the father, where, they said John Cena killed the father or whatnot, or, they had a race to kind of like, determine, if he stays or not and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of it just felt like, I don't know what's the word, like, kind of like a hack. I don't know. It's like, this feels really like contrived, and even if everything is just not realistic, at least still make it feel interesting. You know what I mean? At least still find something to keep us in our seats.
You have to get people. The making of any good movie is getting people to care about the characters. I'm not saying that we don't care about these characters, because we had years to build up and like them, and they each are given something to do in the movie to some extent. But you can't care about them if they aren't in any kind of danger, because obviously the plot is not taking them in any way where it's like, I care about the relationships. I know they're not breaking up with each other. I know they're not there's no distrust. At least in 8, there was that, like, I knew Don wasn't evil, but at least you kind of
made you feel like that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like they put you in a situation where you can see something going on, and
you knew, right?
Yeah, you know. He's not going to turn evil, or but it's like they set everything up where you can believe it. It's all about making me believe it.
The idea of that, at least, is cool, because now it's like, a bunch of invincible badasses against the king of them. Dom is the super one. So when they're like against each other, it's like, okay, no one's gonna die, but at least I know like this is kind of intense at some level. Where literally at the end of the movie, when she shot a missile right at his truck.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like this, like, and she had the best line where she's like, "You got to be kidding me." I'm like, if you don't understand at this point, I'm like, if you threw everything at them, if they beat you if they beat a nuclear carrying submarine on ice, don't even try.
I mean, we forgot about the spinoff with the Rock.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, that was terrible though.
Wait, yeah, I never seen that, but I started watching maybe the first 40 minutes of it.
Yeah,
and like, is it good? No, but at least I was entertained in those first 40 minutes.
As far as like the actors, like, because when you see The Rock and Jason Statham.
Yeah,
they're good actors. You want
they have chemistry. I was entertained by their banter, even if it was childish.
They have chemistry, but the issue I had with that movie was that every other line was about dick and balls, or some kind of joke on it, and it was just like, it was kind of funny to see them try to one up each other, but that's all they were doing the whole movie. And at some point, you just kind of go like, turn off your head, like, okay, now this is ridiculous. I'm tired of hearing this.
Maybe deep in, like, it gets, because I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was more entertained in those 40 minutes than I was through the entirety of this movie. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I had I can't say anything positive about this. The special effects didn't look great. Like, nothing about this movie to me stands out. So it's literally the worst one to me.
So I know you guys are just, kind of agree that, because everything's kind of so unrealistic, it kind of takes you out of the movie. You can't really feel attached to like the situations or the peril the characters are in. Do you think that the next movie they can go back into like putting the characters in danger? Because it's like at this point they're all pretty much superhuman. Do you think they can find ways to like revert back to like, having tension into these scenes?
No, it's about the money.
They need to stop.
If this movie doesn't make a lot of money, and people are saying things like it's just like a joke, they might ground it in terms of making it. Either they're not going to reboot it, because I think they said, like, I don't know if he has one movie left or two movies left.
I think he mentioned two, but go ahead.
God, they just stop at 10.
I mean, they could be like a 10 part 1, 10 part 2. That's what I think they might be doing. Okay. But
So I would imagine that at this point they have to kill some characters. They just have to. If they don't, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying kill everybody, but you got to have some kind of. Yeah, I hate to say that's the only way to do it, but like, I don't know what else to do at this point. They can't die. They can live in outer space. They can live underwater. They can do everything. What's the next frontier? So I don't need, like, I agree. I think it would be nice if they go back to kind of more racing, something with tension. Because that's the thing. Tension don't have to just be life or death. Tension could be winning a race and losing a race brought tension for whatever was on the line or getting caught by cops. That brings tension because it's not live or die. If you end up in jail, that's just as bad. I mean, they could break out of jail, but like still, to me, it's you need that tension. It don't have to be flying in space. It don't have to be saving the world from this new weapon. I forgot about that. Every one is some kind of new weapon that can control all the nukes or locate everybody when you need to see them or do. It's always something.
Control the cars.
Zombie cars.
I was gonna say that. What is it? What
was this?
The eye of God or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
That was like, I completely like once they said, this is where I really was like, oh my God, when I was like, this is a joke. When they were like, we need both halves and then we need the key. And I was like, oh God, they're just gonna go. You know, the bad guy's gonna get it. It's not like, why even put me through this? I know, like that's not tension. And then, the key's the girl for whatever reason. I don't even remember.
I didn't ever DNA because she had.
That was the reason. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, because they put the Hans girl. Yeah.
That his daughter.
Not his daughter. It's a girl that she met. Girl that he met.
The girl that
that's not his daughter. I thought that was like his daughter.
That's not his daughter. No,
that was the girl that he said when Mr. Nobody was like, "Hey, you're gonna work for me, and I want you to steal the half of the whatever that."
That wasn't in another movie. That was this movie.
Yeah, this movie. Yeah,
it was this movie. It was a flashback when Han was explaining how he was quote unquote dead.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me ask you guys.
Glad I found that out.
Is there anything that you guys liked about this movie? Like, if there's one good thing to say about it, is there anything that you guys liked about it?
Let me think.
The only thing I liked about it was the Supra. That's it. That's the only reason I didn't walk out of the movie because my brother from Texas was telling me that he's like, hey man, you got to see that Supra, man, because the Supra looked nice, and I'm like, the whole time I was waiting, where's the Supra coming? Where's the Supra coming? But in any way, shape, or form, they messed up with the Supra because apparently the Supra is so strong that it can't stop those tires from rolling over that big truck from rolling over that Supra. And I was like, okay. And then because I'm gonna say this, John Cena is a pretty big dude, right? And I'm not a big dude, and I have a Supra. Like for him, like to have the time to get out of from the driver's seat to the passenger seat to throw himself out so the truck don't run him over. I'm like, that's impossible. That's impossible. I was like, I know how tight it is in there. Like he's a big dude. Like like come on now. Like it just like these are things that I'm watching throughout the movie. I'm like, I was like, not even 10 minutes in, I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, I'm ready to leave. She started laughing.
It's like thinking about just stuff like, did you enjoy it? And I'm thinking of moments and I'm like, there was that like, oh my God, that Tokyo Drift moment where you saw the guys from that movie. Yeah. And then I was like, wow. And it's like, most consider that one of the worst movies in the franchise anyway. It was like some people like it. It actually has like a lot of fans, but then like a lot of people obviously like after Tokyo Drift, you don't see those characters again for a reason, and they rebooted the franchise pretty much after that. It just didn't do well. But like, I just was there anything I liked at all? I don't know. Go, Steve. I'm gonna think about it.
I don't know why people didn't like the Tokyo Drift because the Tokyo Drift brought what's really happening in Japanese culture. Like the drift that's a big thing over there.
Yeah. Anime's on
it. I think it's more of like it's one thing it might have been like a good picture of like that kind of scene, but as a movie, it might not be like, because one of the things is like, first, like when people look at movies, they look at like who's in it and all this other stuff. I don't even know the name of that actor who played the main character, but he's obviously, he hasn't been in a lot of stuff since because he's not the greatest actor. Things like that. Dragged out. Like the reason these movies are like even where they are is because of Vin Diesel, because people like him. I'm not sure why exactly, but people like him and people like Paul Walker. And that this movie calling itself Fast and Furious don't have either of them in it. people are like, okay, well, I don't like it anymore. But I don't know.
I mean, Dom did do a cameo at the end. I think that was a big deal.
Yeah,
I think Vin Diesel should go back and play Riddick. That's it.
I heard that's like the only role that he's really good in. I don't think he's really good in these Fast.
I mean, I think he's pretty much the same character each one. Like it's Vin Diesel. Once you get I saw Bloodshot like last year or the year before, and it was just like, he's Vin Diesel. He's gonna do what Vin Diesel does. It's kind of like Schwarzenegger.
I was disappointed at that movie. I mean, I was excited because the power that he had, but like I was expecting more fight scenes and like a storyline. Like they develop a character throughout him through that Bloodshot, and it was just like I can say the only movie I like from Vin Diesel is the
Triple X.
No, Riddick, and he was a witch hunter.
Oh, I
heard about that. I heard about the witch hunter. I never seen it.
Yeah, that's a great movie. That's a good movie because he
put
very well.
Putting Vin Diesel in a movie is not gonna get me to see it. It's just he's not that good. You put The Rock in it, I might consider it.
I mean, even The Rock has his cliche
That's the only reason I saw the fifth one anyway, because I was like, I like The Rock. Okay, I'll go see it.
I mean, The Rock is charismatic. I mean, that dude. Like, I think in the ensemble cast, The Rock will just is a vital piece. Like with other people, he works really well together, and complements other characters. In terms of what I thought was good about Fast 9, it's really hard for me to pick anything. I think
nothing good in it.
The only thing I can say is I like the chemistry between Ludacris and Tyrese.
That wasn't even funny. No,
I mean I like the chemistry, but I didn't say it like their lines were great, but I think I like this chemistry. Like at least when you watched it on screen, they're the most interesting to watch on screen because John Cena is like this emotionless soldier that some people can do emotionless but still look engaging, like how Arnold Schwarzenegger was in Terminator, the first Terminator movie. He was very didn't say much, but he just had a presence where he scared the hell out of you, or you can feel his presence. Whereas
you're not comparing that.
What do you mean? I'm just saying the presence of the Terminator to
compared to
I'm saying how the Terminator, how Arnold Schwarzenegger the Terminator had presence and had you felt something when he was on screen compared to John Cena, where you don't feel nothing. What I mean?
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm using that's comparison.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I mean, okay. Now I 100%.
That's what I'm saying. With the Terminator, he just had the look, and even though he didn't say much, you knew he was a force to be reckoned with. Exactly. With John Cena,
had that presence. Everybody has that presence, but this guy, he doesn't have it.
Exactly. And I just feel
he looks the role. He looks kind of like he could, but he doesn't have.
He didn't have it. That's just in the show he didn't have it, and then it was just I don't know. I just feel this is probably the worst Fast and Furious movie I've ever seen, and I'm kind of worried about the franchise at this point because I don't know where they will go at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like I enjoy 5, 6, 7, 8. I enjoyed them. They're all ridiculous, but they still were really well done. That made me laugh, seeing some of the stuff again, as I mentioned earlier before. Sometimes I'm watching some of these stunts and these action scenes, I'm just like, this is so dumb, but I love it. It makes me it puts a smile on my face. I don't think I smiled once in this movie. I didn't smile once at all.
I thought of one thing that impressed me. One thing, and it was that whoever played the young John Cena looked like a young John Cena to me. That's he looked to me. He looked closer than Vin Diesel, the young whoever was supposed to be young Dom. That looked to me.
I couldn't tell if they were the actual actor's face or was it some technology used to kind of make.
It was different.
I think the young John Cena was just someone that looks like kind of like a young John Cena, but because I was looking at him and I was like, he looks like. I could see John Cena, but the guy that played Dom, whether he was good or bad, I was just I did not buy that. That he's gonna turn into mumble grumble family man. I don't think that was. And
I couldn't even gauge how old he was because it was he could be anywhere between a teen or in his 20s. They left it very vague.
And this is the other thing. This is the other thing about when you write characters and you write a story, how they they put the younger brother as just like this fuck up failure without really saying why, because he was even that way. He was considered that even before he killed the dad. Like it was just he was a younger whatever. And then you got Dom, who's the success story. And tell me why. Show me why. Other than I know Dom can just race really good. I have no clue why Dom is such this revered fucking character in this universe, and why he's such a like this is the perfect time to show why Dom is. And why his brother isn't. Like, build that. If you're gonna run with this character and build him up to be like Jesus, show me something. Show me him walking on water. And I don't know when he's a child.
And so they show you that Dom came out of jail and he has when did you get out? It's like what do you say? Like a couple of days or something like that.
He did,
and he went and like you spent all the time in jail, and then while your brother's been racing and you got all the skills. Like you automatically have the skills, like you one.
Oh, and he didn't. Okay, instead of asking your brother what the fuck happened, he just says he listens to the story while he's in jail about how this thing can blow up a car if done right. Then he says, "Oh my god, my brother must have killed my dad. Let me go race him and get him out the family."
No like, conversation, no talk, no never asking like, "Hey, what happened?" It's just like, "All right, you did it. Well, we'll race to see who stays or not."
You're the guy that says, like, if his brother said, "I killed dad," and then I would have been like, okay. But he was like, "You're in the family, or you keep driving."
But the dad was tell the little brother to promise not to tell Dom. So I guess he kind of kept his promise.
Right, he didn't tell him, but like at the same time, it's like you didn't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I would have said, "Dad promised not me to not." Anyway, Dad's dead. What does it matter? Like I get it if you're alive because you're in debt and all that stuff, but like, why is Dom's fragile ego?
Toretto always keeps their promise.
I just more angry thinking about it.
I'm surprised that wasn't in the film.
In the first movie, I love that scene when they were driving those little Hondas and they were hijacking the
VCRs
thing. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple scenes throughout the Fast and Furious series. I can say like I was impressed, especially with the vault, the char. Like that got the Chargers really popular. I know Dodge made a lot of money, because everybody.
I could imagine. Like they see that in that movie, and they're like, "Let's."
I mean, the impact of Fast and Furious, like it was like it's like in terms of video games too. Like remember after Fast and Furious came out, you had Need for Speed Underground, Midnight Club. What else? Yeah, it's so many. Like the franchise itself has been very influential in media. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it created like a lot of copycats. Like aside from video games, Fast Lane. I don't think anybody knows that TV show. Bill Bellamy, that other guy. There was like a lot of like things that came out after Fast and Furious because it just exploded. And I think like that renaissance that I had a couple of years ago.
Aaron Paul's Need for Speed. The Aaron Paul Need for Speed movie.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that one, but I know it came out.
About it, right?
I heard about it. Yeah, it came in and went. It's like a car. That's how fast it went. True to this title.
So I want to ask you guys a serious question. So out of 10, what would you guys give Fast 9?
When I spoke to Sto, I had told him a 5, but just kind of like thinking about the movie because I saw the movie like maybe a week ago or something like that, and it hasn't really resonated with me. So I think I'm gonna lower it to a 4. A 3 to 4.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 3, but then after talking with you guys, and it's boring.
Yeah,
I think that's the worst thing about it. So I'm not gonna say it's not a bad movie. It's just boring. I think I'm gonna give it a 4 too. I'm gonna give it a 4. It's boring. I think that's worse than being a bad movie. Like I would rather give a movie 1 and say, but at least it was funny and like it was entertaining. It's like you ever like The Room. I know you haven't seen the movie called The Room, but The Room is hilariously bad, but it's entertaining.
So bad it's good.
It was so bad it's good. Please, I'd like that, but this was kind of just.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a 5 because it's a movie you can just put on to be in the background noise.
Yeah.
you still watch it and still laugh and say, "Man, I can't believe I went to see."
I don't even think that has any entertainment value, though. To be honest with you, like there was not a point in the movie where I laughed. I think maybe the only thing I laughed at was when
I laughed unintentionally.
When what's his name when Ludacris was like dumbass. Like that's probably the only scene like where he's when they had that infamous scene where he's talking about Tyrese talking about like how they are kind of invincible, they don't have no scratches, and Ludacris says you're a dumbass and take your dumbass jacket. I think I just laughed because I thought the delivery was really well. But I don't think there's nothing in this movie that made me like. It's like I think we missed it. We didn't talk about the biggest part of the movie, or I guess the main attraction of the movie, the magnet scene. The scenes where the set piece where they had all the magnets, because it's boring. It's like it wasn't. It's like it's hard to explain what wasn't good about it, but it was just very boring and very lifeless. Where I remember a couple of years ago, I don't know if it was 8, probably 8. Or the one where they're controlling all the cars and everything like that. That was dope. I was like, yo, this is kind of like crazy. And it had you invested. There's a disconnect between, this movie and the other movies. And I know behind the scenes, I know I'm not gonna, use this to critique the movie, but from what I've read, there is a different writer on this movie. So that may have something to do with it. Like the writer who wrote like the last 3 or 4 movies, is not on this one. And I think, after the fact, when I read that, I said that kind of explains some of the issues I had with the movie. I just felt like a clone of a Fast and Furious movie, like a knockoff.
Yeah, I think with all these technologies that keep bringing in and all the chaos, like I mean, at least somebody got like when I see those movies, I'm like, yo, somebody's don't want to take revenge, like some bystander that got hurt, all that magnet stuff. Like
that would be an interesting premise,
like I always like look at it. I was like, yo, like that's so much destruction. Somebody's family could have died right there. They could have run a story like somebody's trying to take revenge or like something. Like I don't know. It's just like so much chaos, man. So much chaos. Like
I think the only hope for this movie, honestly, not the only hope, because I think they can still get like at least one last movie or two. I think one last movie, to be fair, and really good. And I think if they get all the right pieces back, and the Rock, the old writer, whoever, just get the kind of the feeling that you had from like 5 to 8. I think they can really do something special for the last movie. But I also feel, and I would love to see this. It's probably just me, but I would love to see them crossover with a franchise. I think maybe that's what they need. They need one crossover.
I'm out. That's how I feel about that.
One crossover with something.
That's now. That's to me. That's now you're getting desperate, right? That's how bad you want this movie to be saved by another franchise. That's what you're asking. That's how bad it is.
Fast and Furious Transformers. I mean, come on. That's money. That's printing money right there.
Now you realize you just put it into the world. You put that.
I know. It's gonna happen. This is not the first time I heard that. Transformers and Fast and Furious. I've heard that for a while. You know what I mean? So it's coming.
No.
I would go jump out a window if I and I'd blame you because you're bringing it. You're putting energy.
Universal Paramount. If you hear this, write me my check. All right.
Like, if you heard this, just stop.
Oh God! Yeah. Universal, if you hear this, just stop.
It's okay.
Just make
the nice movie, like pretty much nailed it. Like that's it. No more. It doesn't make. I don't know, man. Like, I think they should have stopped at 5.
Yeah. Well, I think they should have stopped at 7. Once Paul Walker died, I think that's where they should have.
I mean, 7 was great.
They gave him a nice send off.
Yeah. Honestly, I think 7 did really good because I think a lot of it was the curiosity of how are they going to finish this movie? Because with everyone knowing that he passed away and that he didn't finish some of his scenes, I think there's an air of curiosity that surrounded the movie, and I think people just wanted to see how they're going to make this work, or if they wanted to see if the special effects were that good that you couldn't tell if he was there or not.
Wait, is that the one where Vin Diesel punches the floor and it creates like an earthquake? And at the end of the movie, when he's fighting John Statham?
Yeah.
That's 8, isn't it?
No,
that's 7. Oh, 7. Yes, I'm trying to remember.
Right,
7.
and he cracks the floor.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Why am I even worried about these? I forgot about that.
That
right there is already. I forgot. Why am I even upset at this movie? I should have remembered.
That's why Transformers with Fast and the Furious is a perfect match. There you go.
Done.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You know, I think this probably be a good time to wrap up the episode. I think we kind of gave our piece about Fast 9. I think go see it. Yeah. I mean, I can't recommend it because I just
wait for it to come out on Hulu, whatever. And
I think it was much better the TV movie. I really would think.
Even then, I just feel like it would just be a waste of time because I don't think there's no redeeming value or entertainment I receive from the movie. Like there's some movies where they may not be good, but maybe they have some good fight scenes or they have some good set pieces or maybe a dialogue is good. You know, there's some movies that are like that. This movie, everything is just like kind of generic. It just doesn't feel unique or engaging and fun. I think it lost a lot of that. So
I forgot to talk about Cardi B.
Oh, that cameo. That was cringeworthy. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
I think
all about Cardi B.
I know what happened to Cardi B. She's not. That says it all.
She was a soldier.
Yeah.
She had a whole crew of like women soldier.
And
makeup and stuff looking good. That
reeks so much of like corporate cameo. Like there's suits like, hey, Cardi B's really in. Let's get her in. And let's have her do a cameo. Like that felt like such a corporate movie. It didn't even feel organic. It just felt kind of forced. And I'm surprised they didn't have a commercial with her in it. With that line because it just seemed
I saw a commercial or a preview that showed her. And and at first I said, I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, do you know that Nicki Minaj is in this? Because I couldn't remember what these look like. And then I saw it was Cardi B. I was like, oh wait, it was Cardi B that's in this movie. Jeez. Mm-hmm. And then like you said, instead of her being like an actual character in the movie, she's literally a cameo. And I don't know what her name is, but she's literally Cardi B in the movie.
She's like, and they gave her the worst person to like start explaining stuff. Like she was like going on and on. I'm like, oh my god, talk less. Like it's just like it just made no sense. Like you're just saying this like what is this called? When they're supposed to tell you like the story, like you're just spouting I'm blanking on the word, but like you kind of telling the story, like instead of just talking, have natural dialogue, you kind of like what's that word called? You're just spouting exposition. Yes, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
It's like the way, like I said, like if they went back and like make it about cars and racing, like she would have been fit perfect as a super.
Yeah, I agree.
And put a little bit of her music in there, and that would have put a little bit,
It makes sense that way.
It makes sense, but the whole type of soldier thing.
That she's some kind of fucking soldier that Dom saved that we don't see about.
And she's the sister of somebody else that I don't remember.
It just killed it, like
Fast 9.
Yeah, they're like those guys. They turned Fast 9 into like their Navy SEAL / well, no offense to the Navy SEALs, and like the number one tier operators. Like that's like a guy, Mr. Nobody, who works for like the government, who has clearance after clearance. Hired them like to make them like without any like it's just baffled me without any selection, like no special program. When I mean special program, like training as like Jason Bourne.
They survive everything.
They're all Jason Bourne to me, like I'm sorry, but it is what it is. But that's my thought on it.
I definitely feel like Fast 9 is definitely skippable, very skippable. Unless you watch it for free, but I don't think there's any value in it.
On the next podcast, we talk about Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Oh no, I'm not even watching that.
Space Jam 1, right?
Oh no.
Actually, Black Widow would have been a good one to talk about because I think.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I saw it.
Me and my brother gonna watch it. So we we'll definitely talk about that. And and then another movie I'm waiting for is John Wick 4.
Yes, I am waiting for John Wick. You've never seen John Wick?
I haven't seen John Wick.
Go expand your horizon. You'll come back being. This is one of those moments where you're like, oh, I couldn't believe I skipped this. The first one in particular is really fantastic. It's just talk about being entertained. Go watch that.
Yeah.
And then you'll really see like, oh, this because going for that older, it's kind of like one of those, like, we don't get this that much, these character driven action movies. So it's nice because not everything's like Marvel heroes, whatever. This movie is like, it's so refreshing. Keanu Reeves is like perfect for the part. It's just like, yeah, just go watch it. Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor.
And then Keanu Reeves, he's bringing an actor that I like, Dooney Yang. And, so he's coming into number 4.
The fourth one.
I'm super excited. So
yeah.
But Steve, I think you should watch.
Go watch
You got 3 movies to watch. John Wick 1 through 3. So.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'm gonna do that. They just keep passing me, you know. So.
I feel like the first one's the best, but like they're all pretty good. The first one's really good though. Yeah. Like the other ones are like good. The first one's great.
Yeah, the first one is great. Yeah.
Just go watch it.
I got some homework to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All righty.
Not even homework. You'll be rewarding yourself. That's what I mean. Like, yeah.
All right. But thank you guys so much for watching the 8BG cast. I want to give a special thanks to our guest, first time guest, AnditoGamer. Again, you can catch him on YouTube, AnditoGamer, and anywhere else again. You can catch you.
Just on YouTube. I don't really stream on Twitch. I just love YouTube. I don't know why. I just love it. I can't get enough of YouTube.
Reach down.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start streaming more often. There's a lot of good games coming out. So me and Steve, we're gonna stream.
Streets of Rage. Oh, yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn on my PS5 and we're gonna stream that. So it'll be fun. So,
all right, guys.
You guys done? All right. Yo, 8BG out, guys.
All righty.